Are we back? We are back. You're listening to Trending SUV here at KHTS, AM 1220, FM 98.1, helping you get in and out of the valley. Trying to make your job easier, trying to make your ride easier, really. Best thing to do, though, is buy a house here, get your job here, start your business here. A lot of businesses still starting up, even in this environment. And that way there, you don't have to leave the valley. It's not a problem. And it's so much better, so much easier. I mean, seriously, I'm not joking. Anyhow, always a pleasure to have you with us. I got Bri King with me here. Some of you still know her, Bri Waterman. And if you've been in Albertsons, you know who she is. You know what she looks like. Because you it's everywhere. I love that. I really do love that. I think that's great. She's been serving the Santa Clarita Valley real estate since 1999. And you're not a hard sell. That's what I love about it. It's not a hard sell. I looked up a lot of information about you, and I love people that don't feel like they have to get you. Oh, you got to get this today because it'll sell by this afternoon.
No, I like when you're losing sleep over it and you call me.
I've been thinking about that house. Can we put the offer in at 1 in the morning?
Right now.
Yeah, all right. I mean,
We're
seriously.
ready.
So let's just touch on the generals first. Inventory, last time you were here, a little over 400, right?
We are at 515 houses on the market today in Santa
Okay.
Clarita. So in January of this year, we were at 180. So we have a lot more to choose from for buyers, and FHA rates are right about 5.65%, which
Okay.
is a whole 1.5% less than it was back in January. So things are looking good. A lot of price reductions, but things, again, as always, the turnkey stuff goes fast. I have a property out in Saugus that has 15 offers on it right now. So
Wow.
a good pool home listed around 850, 900 that's move-in ready, not dated, that's going to sell.
I was talking yesterday or the day before about you and your experience with young people that want to move in. They just want, like you say, turn the key, get in the house, get
Yep.
it over with.
Yep. I just have a first-time home buyer couple that's closing today that's buying their first place in Saugus, and they just fell in love with the upgrades. They just get to move in and order a pizza. No renovations necessary.
And in my generation, it was like I didn't mind doing upgrades, and I want to do some of my own repair. It wasn't a big deal to think that work had to be done, and you might have gotten a better price.
It's harder to find good tradespeople now, and that's why I married a contractor. Go figure. So I've got one in my pocket.
I'm sure he loves that. Yes, he married me for my skills.
That's the main reason. No, I didn't know he was that skilled till after. But yes, you can definitely get a great deal on a house that's been sitting on the market for a minute that needs, flooring and paint isn't cheap anymore. That's the thing. It used to be a dime a dozen to find good tradespeople, and now things are expensive. Labor, materials are no joke.
Yeah. So, again, with that many houses on the market, I don't know anything about real estate. So, it's a buyer's market or becoming a buyer's market.
It's more in the buyer's hands. It's not truly a buyer's market because we only have 2.5 months worth of inventory. So that means that if no other houses came on the market, it would take 2.5 months for all of those houses to sell that we have right now. If we get over 6 months of inventory, then it's truly a buyer's market. So we're leaning that direction, where I'm seeing buyers kind of digging their heels in for requests for repair credits and things like that, as where, a year ago it was take it as is, take it or leave it. We've got 6 people waiting to jump in your spot.
Wow. So again, you find, that's going to sound like an odd question, but a lot of the older folks don't want to leave the area; they just want to downsize.
Yes.
But that's got to be a tough move too, because your interest rates are higher than the one that they have. Well, some of them probably don't even owe any money on the house anymore. But you finding a lot of that going on, taking place?
I've seen that for the last at least 7 to 8 years. Staying local and downsizing it can be tough for folks. I mean, the nice thing is you can transfer your tax basis, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing is, if a lot of people are sitting in a 3,400 square foot house where nobody's in 4 of the other bedrooms and the pool's running, the filter's running all day long and nobody's ever in it.
The electricity bill, yeah.
But It's paid off. The house is paid off. But if I downsize, I'm selling this for $1 million and I'm moving into something for $750,000. You can get brand new construction that's 55 plus. I mean, you have some great options, but it is a hard pill to swallow that you're leaving, the big forever home that you have the kids over twice a year, and it's up to you.
It's like they're there every day. They keep coming back like a bad rash. It's just amazing. So now, when you're selling a home, or even buying a home for that matter, my brother lives on the East Coast. We were just talking about this the other day. I said, look, you got 3.5 inches of paperwork here. When you buy or sell a home, he said, Joe, here it's like 8 pieces of paper,
Yeah.
But they do it in a lawyer's office. They go to the lawyer's office, say to pay, bang, you're done.
Yep.
But now it's almost like you have to take classes. You have to have a college degree.
I wish most people did, but that's what we're here for, is to streamline the process.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously New York's an attorney state, so you go to the closing table the day of closing. Here in California, you sign loan documents in advance with a notary at escrow, and that is a heavy stack of papers because of all of the releases of liability and such, and notes and grant deeds.
And you were talking about this new broker.
So there is a buyer-broker agreement that is going to be a requirement to see houses moving forward across the entire nation. So same way as some states are attorney states and some are escrow states. Now every single state, a buyer, in order to see a home by appointment, will have to sign a buyer-broker agreement, which means that
Wait, just to see the house?
Just to see the house.
Wow.
Yep. Unless you walk into an open house and you sign a release that you are acknowledging that agent doesn't represent you personally. So you need to pick your realtor and sign with them, and be very cautious. If you're signing an exclusive agreement and you sign with multiple realtors, you could be liable to pay both commissions.
The buyer.
The buyer.
Wow.
Yes. So things are changing, my friends, but it's going to be for the best. Just buyer beware, because, again, DocuSign, you just click away and don't realize that you're really obligating yourself to work with this real estate agent that's in front of you. So make sure it's someone that you really do trust.
I'm floored. I didn't realize that you would lock yourself into somebody and that's it.
Oh my gosh. All I have been doing is training on this and the entire real estate community. But in the news, they go, oh, guess what? Sellers don't have to pay realtors anymore. But really what's changing is the seller has customarily paid the listing broker, and then the listing broker would split the commission, right? So we list for 5%, 2.5% goes to whoever brings the buyer. Well, now the buyer has to say, I'm willing to pay 2.5% for you to represent me. We're going to ask the seller, but the seller doesn't have to do it.
Jeez.
And if the seller says no, then the buyer's responsible. So you really have to read what you're signing and sit down with your agent and have an interview, like a listing presentation with your buyer's agent.
And I know this was 100 years ago, but I remember the last house I bought, the listing agent was our agent as well. But when I called her and said, I want to go look at these 3 houses that you carry, but I don't want to, I want to negotiate the commission with you. And she did.
Yeah.
So
commissions are absolutely negotiable.
Yeah.
But remember, as a seller, if you're not incentivizing the agent to work hard to get the deal done, we only get paid when it closes.
Right.
And so if you get 3 offers on the table and you say, I'm only paying you guys 1% instead of your usual 2.5%. Well, how excited is the realtor to get this job done? You've got our hands tied right off the bat.
Right.
So when you forget to take your trash out of the driveway, now you two are going to small claims court instead of your agent saying, you know what, I'll chip in a little bit. Let's get rid of this. Sorry about the mess.
Yeah. So, but right now, with that many houses, even with that many, you said it's not much. It's only 2.5 months, but it's still a heck of a lot more than it was in January.
It's a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
are the sellers and agents being a little more, what I want to say, conservative in pricing?
I try. I do try.
I like that.
It's the sellers are the boss at the end of the day, but pricing is psychological. So it's like if I price a house at $7.99, I'll get 2 or 3 or 4 offers. If I price it at $8.25, the buyers are coming in going, it doesn't really have the bathrooms updated, and now it's sitting on the market, and they're looking around to see what else is available. So It's all about strategy.
Yeah, and you're right. Again, not knowing anything about real estate, you have to take experts like yourself and go, okay, how do I make this move? How do I get this to move? Somebody asked me last time you were here, but you had already left. We don't have a whole bunch of money to clean up our house or to make some of the repairs that need to be made. How does that work? How does that, do you tell the buyers, look, these people just trying to get out of whatever. You know where I'm going with this, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's one of the reasons that we invented Prime Real Estate, which is our family-owned brokerage, and my husband runs Prime Construction Services. So if you have simple things like that, like flooring and paint, or just these countertops have to go, that's going to make a big difference in value add. We give you the options on what it will be if we just buy it cash as is. You pick the close date. Option 2, we'll fluff it, we'll lightly stage it just as it is. Or option 3, let's put some money into it. But we don't want to put $50,000 in upgrades to get $50,000 back. That's not worth the headache, and we don't know where the market will be by the time the work's done a couple weeks from now. So that we do offer those options, and you can pay some or all of that through closing.
Through the escrow?
Yep,
Yeah.
just depending on the terms.
What if it's okay? I don't want to get too deep in this, but if the sale falls out, you guys shall have a lien on the house, so you can get paid when and if it sells.
Yes, but I get my vibe from the clients,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
Oh, yeah.
I know
Yeah.
the people.
I'm sorry. We'll have to have no, not a check, cash up front.
Yeah.
And we'll get started.
I want to make
on
sure
the
we have
work.
our margins
Yeah,
there.
right.
We're all healthy. Yeah.
All right. So you got about a minute. What is the hot piece of property you have on the market right now?
Let's see. I have a lot right now.
A lot of hot ones.
I do.
Yeah.
I have a lot of hot ones. I just put a property in Hasley Canyon on the market. I'm showing again today, 1.775 million, 2 acres of flat usable horse ranch property, modern style home, beautiful. I mean, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Right off of Hasley. So that's a great one. Next on deck, I have a cute little place in Rosamond, California that we're putting on. So it's a little bit north of Lancaster, believe it
Yeah.
or not. Listed at $399, but absolutely beautiful. Great for an investment property if you don't want to do the commute. And I've got a bunch more, so just go to briking.com and
There
you
you
can
go.
find them there.
Yeah, and if you can't remember that, maybe you shouldn't be driving. BriKing.com. And if they want to get a hold of you personally, how do they do that?
Cell phone or go just grocery shopping and
go
you'll find my
there's a
cell phone
number there,
number there.
too.
Just call
Matter
me
of fact,
while you're getting your
There's
groceries.
a whole bunch of numbers if you're at the end of the line because all those dividers are up in there. Bri, always a pleasure. Thanks for being with us.